The vast expanses always arouse curiosity within us. Why does all this space exist? What significance lies in these immense realms? When these vast spaces are related to the cosmic universe surrounding us, the question takes a deeper turn, and we begin to contemplate the inevitability of the existence of other intelligent beings beyond Earth. The universe contains billions upon billions of planets and stars remarkably similar to Earth and the Sun. When one reflects on this, it seems incredibly unlikely that the entire universe is empty. All we need is a message, or perhaps even a signal from a distant place beyond the stars, confirming the possibility of intelligent beings existing alongside us in the same cosmos. They might even say, "Hey, we're your neighbors in the same galaxy." The truth we discuss is not a science fiction excerpt. In 1977, we actually received a strange signal, rumored to be sent by extraterrestrials. Welcome. I'm Ahmed Mahmoud. In this episode, we'll discuss the mysterious WOW signal coming from space. But before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. On August 15, 1977, specifically at Ohio State University in the United States, a group of scientists led by Professor Jerry Ehman was overseeing a research project as part of the early initiatives of the Seti, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute. The experiment involved a massive radio telescope called the Big Ear, or the Big Ear Antenna. The telescope was precisely directed toward the sky, and as the Earth moved, it scanned the radio background of space. During this comprehensive survey, the telescope received various signals, which were translated based on their intensity into numerical values ranging from 1 to 10. If the signal strength exceeded 10, it was further expressed using alphabetical characters from A to Z. For instance, weak signals typical of cosmic background noise were displayed as 1 or 2 on the screen. Slightly stronger signals might appear as 3 or 4. If the signal is very strong, in the case of a telescope, it abandons numerical notation and starts expressing it with letters. For example, if a signal like this is detected, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, this would be considered a weak signal. But if we find a signal like this, 4, 5, A, B, C, W, 5, 4, 3, this indicates that the signal started weak, then became stronger, and then weakened again. And a strong signal like this is rarely detected. Meanwhile, signals of the first type like 1 and 2 and such are the ones that are repeatedly detected. The point in our story is that during the process of scanning signals, it is expected and natural for the telescope to repeatedly pick up signals in the form of 1 or 2. As we mentioned, these represent weak and familiar signal strengths relative to the radio background of the universe. However, there was an exceptional event. Suddenly, at 10:16 p.m. on that day, the telescope detected a completely different signal, one that deviated from the usual background noise. This signal had a frequency of 1420 MHz and appeared in the form of 6 patterns, combining letters and numbers. 6 EQUJ5. The signal persisted for 72 seconds. What made this signal remarkable was not only its intensity, but also its composition. Unlike the usual 1 and 2, this signal contained 6 alphanumeric characters. Its strength was approximately 30 times greater than typical signals. This marked the first time such a powerful signal had been observed in space. When printed on paper, the signal appeared mesmerizing and baffling to researchers. Professor Ehman, astonished by its strength, circled it with a red pen and wrote "WOW" next to it. And so began the journey of the WOW signal coming from outer space. The experiment's team found themselves in a massive whirlwind of controversial questions surrounding the WOW signal. The Big Ear radio telescope was scanning a known star cluster called Messier 55, specifically directed toward a region associated with the Sagittarius constellation. The nearest star that could potentially emit such a strong signal should be about 200 light-years away. This means that if the WOW signal indeed came from extraterrestrial beings, it would have been sent 200 years ago and received by us in 1977. In an attempt to further understand the subject, they tried to repeat the experiment multiple times. They conducted a new search by pointing the telescope at the same angle and towards the same star cluster. Imagine they repeated the experiment about 50 times and also used a different telescope than the Big Ear, called Oak Ridge, known for its superior sensitivity and precision. Not only that, they also suggested changing the location of the telescope itself. They moved across the Earth's surface, changing its position several times in an effort to detect any signal similar to the WOW signal. Despite their efforts, they couldn't detect any similar signals. The WOW signal remained unique. Some speculated that the signal might have originated from Earth itself. A stray terrestrial source accidentally reflected multiple times until it reached the Big Ear. However, further investigation ruled out this possibility. As we all know, space and astronomy projects reserve a set of frequencies that no one else can use. The law criminalizes any entity with authority over radio transmission systems if they use frequencies designated for research. In addition, the signal's nature and intensity indicated that it didn't come from any earthly source. So, the WOW signal likely arrived from outer space. Still, questions persisted. Could it be a burst from an exploding star? That's one of the controversial hypotheses surrounding this enigmatic event. The universe is filled with electromagnetic waves and signals dispersed in the vacuum, moving at the speed of light. However, addressing the hypothesis that the WOW signal originated from a star explosion, it would have been detected multiple times if it were a pulsating signal. The time of observation should have been longer, and the signal would have appeared as a series of connected pulses. Despite repeating the experiment over 50 times and using different telescopes, no similar signal was ever detected. The idea that the signal came from an exploding star is thus unlikely. Later, an assistant professor of astronomy and astrophysics in Florida, named Antonio Paris, proposed a different explanation. He suggested that the signal source was a hydrogen cloud associated with comets 335P Gibbs and 266P Christensen, which were in the same region where the telescope detected the signal. However, further investigation revealed that these comets were not present at the time of observation, casting doubt on this hypothesis as well. In summary, the key takeaway from this discussion is that the only thing we are certain of regarding the WOW signal is that its frequency of 1420 MHz corresponds to the atomic hydrogen spectral line. This frequency could be due to some form of hydrogen radiation. However, we still haven't definitively identified its source. Another intriguing possibility is that it was intentionally transmitted by extraterrestrial beings who specifically chose this frequency to communicate with us because they know that advanced and intelligent civilizations are the ones capable of analyzing materials with their different elements. Thus, in 2012, a more advanced telescope in Puerto Rico was used to send a message back to the same region where the WOW signal was received in 1977. The message included selected tweets from Twitter and videos and images of global celebrities. While this wasn't part of a formal research effort, it served as a response to the WOW signal. To receive a reply from the other side, we would need to wait at least 200 years for the message to travel there and another 200 years for a new message to return. However, some believe that we might receive a clearer signal at any time, providing definitive information about the ultimate question: are extraterrestrial civilizations out there or not? In this way, we talked today about the WOW signal. Tell us in the comments about the topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and share it. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe and activate notifications to receive our latest episodes as soon as they are released. See you Have a good night. Bye.